Hello everyone, this is Spooky799KIL here to talk about Dragon Ball Z. I have seen many debates throughout the Dragon Ball Z community around the character of Majin Buu. Majin Buu is a very interesting character. As you see throughout the entire arc, Majin Buu has the most interesting and different transformations, which has led confusion among fans. This includes the most highly substantial debate, that is, which Majin Buu is the strongest. This debate has refused to die even to this day. I already made my own personal opinion and conclusion of Gohan absorbed of being the strongest, but I'm still on the fence on who is stronger, Kid Buu or Super Buu's base form due to some inconsistencies in the story. Gohan is strong enough to destroy Super Buu, and then you have Vegeta and Goku state they aren't strong enough to defeat him. Yet, when Goku faces off against Kid Buu seems to eventually have the slight edge and shows no loss of stamina or ki, which may be due to them underestimating Kid Buu. Another huge inconsistency is the fact that Gohan gives his energy to the Spirit Bomb, and Kid Buu is able to push it back even though Gohan is stronger than Super Buu, and majority of the people say Super Buu's base form is stronger than Kid Buu. If this is all true, how is Kid Buu able to handle Gohan's energy in the Spirit Bomb, plus everyone else's in the universe? Also, if that is the case, why didn't Vegeta and Goku just wish for Gohan and Gotenks to come fight Kid Buu? This could merely just be a plot hole, but that's a discussion for another day. The meat of this video is going to be discussing on the theory of why I think Super Buu reverted back into Kid Buu when Fat Buu was taken out of him. As many people have questioned of why didn't he just revert back to the Grey Evil Buu. This has confused many people and has made many people believe that because of this, Kid Buu and Evil Buu may be one and the same. However, I see it from a different point of view. I'll go into more detail on why I think this later on when we get talking about the actual transformation of Super Buu reverting back into Kid Buu. Firstly, let's take a look at all the transformations of Majin Buu. Kid Buu and Super Buu have been the only Buus seen on screen to be able to absorb other characters. This shows how Majin Buu transforms. Kid Buu is shown to absorb the South Kai and Kaioshin, turning him into a more gentler and easier to control Fat Buu. When you see the gradual difference from Kid Buu to Fat Buu, they almost have an entire different personality because he seems to take on their traits. Besides their powers and skin color, they have almost an entire different appearance as well. Now, moving on to Evil Buu. Evil Buu is an entirely different circumstance. Evil Buu is expelled out of Fat Buu when he can no longer hold in his anger and rage. This causes a split of one good and one evil Majin Buu. Essentially, Evil Buu is the manifestation of Fat Buu's rage in physical form. After being turned into chocolate, Evil Buu eats Fat Buu and absorbs him, creating an entirely new entity which has been referred to as Super Buu. Super Buu is basically a new entity himself, as he is the only transformation to come into being without absorbing other characters. By absorbing his other half, he was able to become whole again, but this time the evil side became dominant. Super Buu eventually shows that he can absorb other characters, but his power does not go down due to Piccolo, Gotenks, and Gohan not being Kais, or at least not pure heart like the Kais. When Goku and Vegeta are inside Super Buu's body, they start to rip out the absorbed Z fighters from the pods, reverting him back to Super Buu base form. They then see that Fat Buu is in one of these pods. When Vegeta realizes that Super Buu keeps trying to protect Fat Buu from being ripped out, he then threatens and questions what would happen if he rips out Fat Buu from the pod. Super Buu then begs for his life by stating he won't be himself anymore. Vegeta comments that he wonders if he will turn back into Fat Buu or Evil Buu. When Fat Buu is finally pulled out, Super Buu loses all control of himself and then begins to change. He goes through a process of reverting between Buff Buu and then back into his original form, Kid Buu. Okay, now that I explained all the transformations, let's discuss on how this final transformation where Super Buu reverts back into Kid Buu and how it correlates to the start of Super Buu's existence from when Evil Buu absorbed Fat Buu. Many people are confused around this process. People say, shouldn't Evil Buu be the one Super Buu reverts back to since he was the one that absorbed Fat Buu in the first place? Well, there are a few theories to this. One most common is that Evil Buu and Kid Buu are basically the same being. However, if this was the case, why did Evil Buu even take the form he did and act completely different from Kid Buu if they are essentially the same being? Really think about it. Shouldn't it have been Kid Buu just gray if they were the same? To understand the difference between Evil Buu and Kid Buu, I think we need to go back and look at the most important piece of the puzzle. Buu absorbing Kaioshin. Once Buu absorbed Kaioshin, he became gentler and easier to control. Seems like most of his evil was bottled up inside him. Now, as we see later on when Kid Buu finally shows up in the story, he has a completely different personality when compared to his Fat Buu counterpart. Even though they are both the same being, they are almost an entire different person due to Kaioshin's influence. We even see this when Evil Buu and Super Buu come into the picture. Out of all the Boos, Kid Buu, Super Buu, and Fat Buu, not one of them act the same. All of them talk and act very differently. What does this have to do with anything? Well, when we look at the difference between Super Buu and Kid Buu, even though Super Buu should be technically Kid Buu when Evil Buu absorbed Fat Buu, and Majin Buu is finally almost pure evil, technically he should have been Kid Buu, right? Well, my theory is that not only does Super Buu need Fat Buu to exist, but he needs Kaioshin as well. Let's discuss why I think this is the case. If we look at Evil Buu also acted slightly different compared to his transformed Super Buu counterpart. When the transformation occurred, something changed which made him into what Super Buu became. Let me note that it is stated by Piccolo that Evil Buu is the physical manifestation of Majin Buu's evil and his evil self. He comments on how it is just like how he and Kami had split and were two beings but also one. These few lines is actually very interesting. If it is to be assumed what Piccolo states is completely true, I would like to point out that Evil Buu has the same attire as Fat Buu. Same gloves, same shoes, cape, and everything. The only difference is the color of the cape, his body shape, and his skin color. Evil Buu does not have the clothes appearance of Kid Buu, Majin Buu's original form. This is a huge factor determining my theory why Super Buu reverted back into Kid Buu. If we go by my logic that each time Majin Buu absorbs a character, he adopts their traits and personality. This means every entity of Majin Buu is completely different. What I am getting at is instead of the physical manifestation of the original Majin Buu, aka Kid Buu, Evil Buu is the evil side of Fat Buu and that particular Buu only. Evil Buu and Fat Buu are the same being, just one's evil and one is good. They are essentially one and the same. Once Evil Buu absorbs Fat Buu and transforms into Super Buu, Super Buu is shown to totally depend on Fat Buu being inside him, which also means he needs Kaioshin inside him to exist. With this exact reasoning, that means both Fat Buu and Super Buu need Kaioshin's influence to exist. Now, Evil Buu is a dilemma for my theory, as he actually isn't a pure form of Buu and does not have Kaioshin inside him at the time he exists. However, if we go back to my explanation that he is basically the evil side of Fat Buu and they are one and the same, it is likely he's still influenced by Kaioshin, though I have no evidence of that being the case. Now, when Evil Buu absorbs Fat Buu, Majin Buu became whole again, but as an entire different entity. This entity is Super Buu. When Evil Buu absorbed Fat Buu, I believe that Evil Buu ceased to exist since he was just Majin Buu's rage in physical form. Basically, both Boos came together and formed Super Buu, who still needs Kaioshin to exist due to the circumstances of his creation. He's basically just a hybrid version of Fat Buu, but less restrained, almost bypassing Kaioshin's influence. This can also be supported to the fact that Evil Buu's personality, even though we saw a little of it, was a little different from Super Buu, as I explained before. He seemed playful when he runs up to Fat Buu, something that I could see Fat Buu doing, but not Super Buu or Kid Buu. It can be noted that every single form of Buu has referred to themselves as Majin Buu, as if they were always Majin Buu, even though each one is different. Even though Super Buu is evil, he's less crazy and not as dangerous as Kid Buu, which may be due to Kaioshin's influence with Fat Buu still inside his body. As I explained, it seems that when Super Buu is born, he seems to be an entire new entity of Majin Buu compared to all his other forms. Now, with all that I have discussed, and we go off my theory, let's get into the actual transformation of Super Buu reverting back into Kid Buu. Once Vegeta rips Fat Buu from Super Buu's body, Super Buu loses his only connection to exist. Since Evil Buu, Fat Buu, and Super Buu all depend on Kaioshin, and now the link to Kaioshin within Fat Buu has been severed, Super Buu can no longer exist. This also includes South Kai, which is why he goes through his transformation when reverting back into Kid Buu. Basically, Super Buu is Fat Buu under the circumstances that I explained before with Evil Buu, and then reverts to his previous form before that, which was Buff Buu, and then back into his original Kid Buu form. Since Kaioshin is no longer connected to Majin Buu's body, Super Buu can no longer exist, and now all that remains is the empty husk of Buu's body with no influence. Since we know that Kid Buu was the original form of Majin Buu, we can now assume that husk would revert back into control of Kid Buu, since that husk would be Kid Buu since he's the purest form of Buu. Well, there you have it, guys. That has been my explanation of why I think Super Buu reverted back into Kid Buu. Sure, there are still some things that don't make sense, but I tried to make sense of it as much as I can. I'm sure even Toriyama retconned his original intention of Majin Buu when he made Super Buu return back into Kid Buu, since Supreme Kai never stated that Majin Buu had a previous form before Fat Buu, but he could have just not mentioned it as if it didn't really matter, so we'll just have to deal with it, I guess. I hope you enjoyed my input. I would like to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Do you guys agree with me, or do you still think it makes no sense? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.
If you enjoyed this video, please make sure you subscribe to Spooky799KIL. Lord Frieza demands it.